at Christmas. I'd like to tell you a Christmas story from a different angle somehow. So I will tell you about a donkey, a tiny mouse and a cow. In days long ago, these three friends lived out their lives each day in a stable at the back of an inn, so warmly filled with hay. The owner of the donkey and cow never knew about the mouse, for the donkey and cow had warned him to be careful when in the house. The mouse was very clever and knew how to keep out of the way, but he needed to look for food because he couldn't eat the hay. One night he was in the house looking for crumbs on the floor when suddenly there was a knock. Someone was at the door. A man and a woman stood there. They looked very weary to him. Then he heard the master say, "Sorry, we have no room at the inn. But if you can stay in our stable if your baby is on the way, in there it will be nice and warm with the animals and the hay." The master was really kind. He gave them blankets, wine and bread. So the man took the woman to the stable and they made her a comfortable bed. The mouse, the donkey and the cow watched in wonder that night as the woman gave birth to a baby and the stable was filled with light. And so they, the donkey, the mouse and the cow, watched over the baby in the manger. Somehow they knew in their hearts this baby was no stranger. I know this story began about the animals in a stable in days of old, but would you believe it? It's turned into the greatest story ever told. So of course the man was Joseph and Mary was his wife, and the baby, our Saviour Jesus, came to earth to give us new life. So remember very clearly when you decorate your house about that wonderful night that blessed the donkey, the cow, and of course the tiny mouse. The Christmas Story, Part 2. In the small town of Bethlehem on hills nearby were lots of sheep. Watching over them were many shepherds, trying so hard not to fall asleep. Suddenly a very bright light shone on them where they laid. An angel appeared in the starry sky saying, "I bring good news, don't be afraid. For in the town of Bethlehem you will find in the stable a baby boy, with his mother Mary and Joseph there too, a son given to bring the world great joy. For he is Jesus our Saviour, who will free the world from sin. You must go to see him now. Don't worry, his parents will let you in." The shepherds were amazed at this and wondered if they should leave the sheep. But if an angel from God told them to go, it must be all right to go and have a peep. So off they went to Bethlehem, which really was just down the hill. They found the brightly lit stable and were glad to have followed the angel's will. Inside they saw Mary and Joseph leaning over a babe in a manger. Suddenly they had peace in their hearts, for they knew this babe was no stranger. So you see, just like the animals, the donkey, cow and little mouse, they knew God's Son right away, for his love just filled the house. As they were about to go back to the sheep, they were thinking about all these things when they heard some others coming in and were surprised to see 3 kings. They watched them, so did the animals, as the 3 kings before the manger bowed down. They gave many gifts to Mary for Jesus and laid before him their crown. And that, dear children, is the story of Jesus, how as a baby he was laid in a manger. If you ask him into your hearts, he will always be there and keep you out of danger. I pray that Christmas will be good for you and you will have very happy days. Just take the real reason for Christmas to heart and Jesus will be with you always.